Friend or foe? Scandalous confessions leaked by celebrities' innermost circle have been exposed. Angelina Jolie. Angie seems to be in the spotlight a lot recently, especially since her years-long divorce to Brad Pitt has finally been finalized. It only took 8 years, but hey, it's officially over. Well, being a celebrity, you have to expect that secrets will get leaked, but you wouldn't expect them to be from your friend and bodyguard, right? Well, while Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were married, her ex-bodyguard claimed the star would start throwing knives during some of their more intense arguments, though no one was ever seriously harmed. A source said Angelina has quite a temper on her, and she has been known to throw a few knives around when she is angry. The source also reported that her ex-husband gifted her some anger management classes in response to that. Jolie has also collected knives since she was a child. She says she collects knives because they are beautiful and traditional, and each country has different knives and weapons. It turns out that Jolie learned knife throwing on the set of her 2001 movie Lara Croft Tomb Raider. She has also demonstrated her skills on the Conan O'Brien show. Ellen DeGeneres is next. Her downfall began in 2020 when current and former employees, some of whom were actually friends, exposed the toxic working environment they were constantly subjected to daily. Many people said they faced, racism, fear, and intimidation. Her show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, was one of the most highly viewed daytime shows and was winning daytime Emmy Awards left, right, and center. A former employee and low-key frenemy said that be kind BS only happens when the cameras are on. It's all for show. I know they give money to people and help them out, but it's for show. Now here's the thing. This actually all kind of started back in November of 2019 when actress Dakota Johnson appeared as a guest on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, and the interview began like any other. It seemed like Ellen and her famous guest were just old friends having a casual, catch up, but on camera for all to see, of course. But this facade was quickly broken for the first time in the show's 16-year run when Ellen asked why she wasn't invited to Dakota's 30th birthday party. Dakota replied, "Actually, no, that's not true, Ellen. Ask everybody. Ask Jonathan, your producer." Off camera, someone, presumably Jonathan, confirmed that Ellen had indeed been invited to her party. The online backlash was imminent. People couldn't believe that Ellen, whose career has been built on being authentic and kind, had lied about not being invited to Dakota's 30th birthday party. Furthermore, people tried to figure out where Ellen was on the day of Dakota's party to see if her absence could be explained. The party was held on October 5th, 2019, and while no one could actually confirm where Ellen had been that day, the search drew attention to where Ellen had been on October 6th, 2019, the day after. She actually attended a Dallas Cowboys game where she sat next to former US President George W. Bush. Again, online backlash ensued for reasons I will not dig into, but lots of stories began to swirl on Twitter, stories that claimed Ellen, wasn't that nice in real life. Following the accusations against Ellen and her show, some celebrities such as Katy Perry and Ashton Kutcher quickly came to her defense, stating that they were always treated well and never witnessed, any mistreatment. However, other celebs, including Brad Garrett and Leah Thompson, claimed they too were actually treated quite poorly and were not surprised, by the ex-employee stories, and that's why in May 2022 the show ended its 19-year run. Well, at least that's what many people assume. Also, many people, have actually coined Ellen being a horrible person as the best, worst kept secret in Hollywood ever. I mean, personally, I was shocked. I won't lie. I always had an impression she was laughing with her guests, not at them. But one thing's for sure, those tables, they're gonna always turn. Next up, Britney Spears. According to Capital FM, the toxic singer was slammed by her ex-bodyguard in a report saying Britney had obnoxious habits, especially while working with him. She broke wind or picked her nose unselfconsciously and unapologetically, and she was constantly loud and profane. Fernando Flores claims he was repulsed by Spears, as she also made repeated unwanted advances at him. He also said she did not bathe for days, did not use deodorant, did not brush her teeth, did not fix her hair, did not wear shoes or socks. Flores, an ex-cop who worked for Spears for only a few months, accuses the pop star of just being unkept. Flores was seeking actually $6 million in damages, saying that he suffered anxiety, depression, and insomnia while working working for the singer. Flores is suing Spears' father, Jamie Spears, and her lawyer, Andrew Wallet, for psychological damages he suffered because of repeated unwanted advances by Britney. On another occasion, Flores says he entered Spears' bedroom and found her completely unclothed, and after an awkward silence in which Spears stood undressed in front of Flores, he asked her if she needed anything, to which she replied, 2 bottles of 7-Up. That's what the lawsuit reads. Now, Britney's lawyers say that the complaint should be thrown out because they are an attempt to just ruin her reputation. Honestly, it's giving like broke grown man wanting a payday vibes. I don't know. Jennifer Lopez is next. JLo's makeup artist Scott Barnes was left temporarily without a job when she fired him, thinking he was the one to actually leak her secret wedding with Marc Anthony. Forbes credits makeup artist Scott Barnes with creating the signature technique that became Lopez's iconic glow, which in turn became the preferred look of the era. The two have worked together since 2000, whether it was serving as JLo's personal makeup artist for her role in the movie Hustlers or for JLo's Super Bowl halftime performance. While their working relationship and friendship, spans over 2 decades, there was a time when Barnes apparently didn't have her love. Barnes spilled the tea during an interview on the Jeff Probst show after rumors circulated that Barnes and 2 others leaked plans of JLo and Marc Anthony's secret marriage. JLo's team shunned Barnes. Barnes actually told Probst, "Nobody would talk to me. It was like I had the plague." Allegedly, he didn't even know she had booted him out until he found out through an upcoming news story. When the truth came out that Barnes did not leak the news or even know about the wedding ahead of time, he received a phone call, presumably from Jennifer, whom Barnes claimed that she said the following. It was kind of like, "Hey, it was a big misunderstanding. We have a lot of stuff coming up and I really miss you, so let's just get back to work." So basically she just rehired him. Although Barnes was extremely diplomatic in his recounting of the temporary fallout, it's clear that he never received a direct apology. What's even more interesting is that considering Barnes and Lopez quickly, reconciled, he chose not to keep the story about her in-house. To this day, he is her primary makeup artist, but this whole ordeal has left a lot of people questioning who the actual close person to her is that leaked the news. I'm sure one day it will come to light, so stay tuned for that one. Madonna is next. Christopher Ciccone, Madonna's brother, who sadly passed away in 2024 at the age of 63 from cancer, worked as his sister's backup dancer, personal dresser, and art director until their very public feud erupted in 2000. He actually revealed the unfair way she treated him back when he was her dresser. Apparently, she tried to force him to go to rehab for his addiction to illegal substances, which initiated his therapy sessions. Now, she later sent a list of demands to the therapist saying that she wouldn't pay for his interior design work unless he attended Kabbalah meetings with her. Many said their relationship was so intimate that it was more like a marriage than a brother-sister dynamic. He described being the one person who could take it when the singer screamed at him backstage, and how he was the only one in her circle who knew the truth about her past, which he frequently apparently mythologized. Now, however, the siblings' relationship began to fracture in the late 1990s as Christopher began to grow increasingly resentful over having given up, his artistic dreams to support his sister's career. In 2000, Christopher famously labeled Madonna as an evil queen in a leaked email, where he lamented giving up his life for his sister's mediocre talent. He actually wrote, "You have never in the entire time I have worked for you since 1985 paid me even close to what I was worth. I gave up my bleeping life to help make you the evil queen that you are today. 15 years listening to your bleeping egotistical rantings, mediocre talent, and a lack of taste that would stun the ages. Every ounce of talent you have sucked dry from me and the people around you. I certainly have never worked for you for the money. Now you accuse me of lying and cheating? You've got some bleeping nerve. As usual, you have lost all sense of reality." This exposed and detailed some of his worst experiences working with his sister. He said Madonna called him like a piece of beep for not pushing out the little finger on her long black gloves. On another occasion, he claims Madonna left him close to tears when she yelled, "Hurry the F up or I'll bleeping fire you right now. At the time Christopher was writing his book, Madonna had an estimated net worth of like 600 million and would happily donate to millions of different charities. Now, when it came to looking after her own family, allegedly, Christopher claimed Madonna was not so quite as generous. Christopher reportedly earned 7 figures to team up with author Wendy Lee to co-write the tell-all book, Life with My Sister Madonna. In the 352-page book, Christopher made a cruel jab about his sister's fat midriff during the Virgin Tour back in 1985 and said Madonna would become like a basket case when being interviewed on TV. What's more is he also described the vicious cycle where dancers would fall under Madonna's spell, only to later be hurtled out in the cold after getting too close for comfort. He exposed a lot of secrets and confessions. It's worth a read if you're a Madonna fan or not a Madonna fan. You know, Madonna said of her brother's final days on Instagram, "I did my best to keep him alive as long as possible. He was in so much pain towards the end. Once again, we held hands, we closed our eyes, and we danced together." It would seem as though they did do their best to reconcile before he passed, so hopefully they both have some peace with where, you know, they ended up standing with one another. Okay. Last on the list is Prince William. Please don't come for me. He may not be a Hollywood celebrity, but he is definitely famous. He's literally like next in line to be the king. I want to touch on how his brother Prince Harry threw all the shade and spilled all the tea in the pot in his 2023 memoir, Spare. Prince Harry alleged that in 2019, his older brother Prince William confronted him about his wife Meghan Markle, and the argument escalated until Will grabbed Harry by the collar, ripping his necklace and knocked him to the floor. Oh my. Harry wrote, "I landed on the dog's bowl, which cracked under my back and pieces cutting into me. I laid there for a moment dazed, then got to my feet and told him to get out." He said that after he refused Will's urging to hit him back, the older brother left, then came back looking regretful and apologized. Also, in 2023, Prince Harry actually alleged that his stepmother, Camilla Parker Bowles, had leaked private conversations to the press so they'd cover her favorably. He told CBS that made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within, you know, the British press. Now, there was open willingness on both sides to trade information, and with a family built on hierarchy and with her on the way to being, you know, queen consort, there was gonna be people or bodies left in the street. Insane.